I've been in Georgia now over 22 years. I think it took maybe like 5 years before I could say y'all without it sounding weird or forced or labored. What about you, Tony? You throwing in a y'all here and there?
Oh,
Y'all?
absolutely not.
You don't do y'all?
No, I refuse.
I did for the longest time.
I'm a staunch yinzer, and I will not stop.
Okay, well, you got a yinzer, so that's true. That's a little bit different.
Do we want to go? Do we want to
Go,
start?
just go start.
I was gonna say,
we're starting off with yinzers versus y'all.
Listen, we'll go right back into it, but let me start the episode here. All right, we've got
so bad.
I know. Welcome to the XYZ podcast. I am millennial producer Tony, joined as always by our host Gen X Brian.
Hey everybody.
And Gen Z Winston.
Hello. Oh, sorry.
Fixing
hello.
whatever he's fixing.
Hello. I was turning off a light.
That's it. All we get is a hello. I'm a little disappointed now. This is twice.
What did it do? Wait, it's how many times?
Once.
Got him. Got him.
So
but Winston looked so disappointed that you cut him off, Tony. It was like you scolded him, but
I know. Well, we started to get into a conversation and I was like, I haven't introed the show yet.
That's what I was gonna say before Brian started talking about this whole y'all thing. I was like, are we just getting straight into it? We're not gonna do an intro to
So back up, Brian, you've been here how many years? No, you don't. Hold on.
You mean like on Earth or?
Yes, I've been here
Georgia.
too many years on Earth, but in Atlanta, it's been 22 years. I was commenting that it took me about 5 or 6, I think, before coming from the Midwest with a bit of a Chicago accent that my children have somehow picked up in a weird way.
What's the Chicago accent?
Chicago. Did you ever see the Saturday Night Live, the Bears? Did you ever see that sketch? No. Oh, it's a bunch.
We're going for a 3-peat with our favorite team, the Bulls.
The Bulls.
So when that was on, it's hilarious Saturday Night Live skit, and it's all about these guys from Chicago. They're sports fans. They're in a bar.
Swerski.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Those Swerski super fans.
And so I saw that sketch, and I'm like, that's hilarious. I don't think I realized that I sounded like that at the time. I thought it was just like over exaggerated there, and it's an amazing Chris Farley performance.
Yes.
But
how many heart attacks I make for you this week? That makes a baker's dozen.
That's a baker's dozen there, Chuck. And so I realized when I moved to Florida very quickly that I sounded like that, and I didn't realize that I sounded like those guys from Chicago. So that's your Chicago accent. It's not quite your
it's not quite Minnesota.
It's not
Minnesota.
You're getting up there. You're pretty up north there, eh?
Yeah.
Canada.
I was gonna say, once you get to Canada, the accent just sounds terrible. Speaking of accent, have you guys heard the Toronto accent, or like what they sound like?
They're Canadian, right? So what does Toronto sound like? I don't know.
No, Toronto sound completely different from the rest of Canada. I almost said Canadian.
You look this up.
But that's not where we started.
Story.
Yinzers versus y'alls. So yes.
So, I've been down here for 8 years.
Okay, maybe it takes longer.
I refuse to say it.
Maybe it's a decade. So I had a strong aversion to y'all, and I don't generally use it. But there was a point when I was down here long enough that I could say y'all like regularly. But when you come from the Midwest, you can't say y'all. It's y'all. It's like you hear the apostrophe. Then Tony is a steadfast Pennsylvanian. Is that right? Is that a Pennsylvanian?
A Western Pennsylvanian.
Okay, that's important to make that distinction.
Pittsburgher. I'm not from Pittsburgh, but close enough.
They're called Pittsburghers?
Pittsburgher.
Yeah.
People from Pittsburgh are called Pittsburghers.
Yes. And the famous restaurant in the city is a place called Permane Brothers, and they serve a Pittsburgher.
That's fine. That's a great name for a sandwich. I didn't know the people were called Pittsburghers.
Tony, when you say Pittsburgher, I keep thinking of that Coney Island dog place where they line it up to their
That's Johnstown.
Exactly.
The arm Pittsburgher. Yes.
Yeah, the arm Pittsburgher. But real quickly, I'm going to show you guys this quick Toronto accent. People call it the worst accent known to man.
I don't know about that.
Are we sharing screen?
Oh yeah, you know how I am.
For our Twitch viewer.
And what I don't like is if the business is true that you left your moms in the hood, somebody go smoke that you. You don't leave your moms nowhere. You have money and you left your moms there? Yo, you're sick to my stomach, fam. But if it's not true, Shorty's just talking shit.
There's no way.
That is not a Toronto accent. That's like it's got like a Jamaican influence, a little patois.
This is now the Toronto accent. That's what Drake sound like. That's what everybody sound like in Toronto now.
Oh,
It's
I think that's an instance of people thinking that everybody in Toronto sounds like Drake. And I'm sure that's not true.
I don't know. I've seen one too many clips of Toronto accent to really like say it's one of the worst accent I've ever heard. And this is coming from someone that, grew up
That's
in
not
Asia.
that's not a Toronto accent. I mean, like, yeah.
What is a Toronto accent then? That's it. I'm
Just a
telling you.
Canadian accent.
It's a slight Canadian accent. This
I
is what
don't
I was actually going to say. All Canadian accents, like they every statement is said like a question.
Yeah, because you got an A at the end.
And there's a lot of punctuations with A's. I mean, that is no,
And
that
you know what's so funny? I always thought that was like a stereotype or something, and I never realized it was true until one of my friends who's from Canada, like not Toronto type of area, he came down and we were talking, and I started noticing it because every time he say something to me, he'll add it to the end like it was a question.
Yeah, everyth's a question. Everything goes up. Hey, Winston, I like your shirt, eh?
Yeah, I was like, dude,
I don't know. Do you? You making fun of me? What? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
That's
but
a
okay.
nice car, eh? Like I'm like, oh, okay.
I thought so. Why you asking?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Yinzers versus y'alls though. Let's dial it back.
Okay.
I had an aversion to saying it for a while just because it felt weird to be able to say y'all, but we're not trying to get you to change from Yinzer. So a Yinzer, explain the Yinzers, because I didn't even know what a Yinzer was until I met you.
Yeah, I've never heard of that word.
So why
very
I
Use it
y'all,
in
I
a
guess.
sentence real quick.
it's the
Winston's
same
at the spelling bee.
it's
y'all.
word as y'all.
You all.
How do you?
So
all
if
y'all.
you go, hey, what are y'all doing tonight? I would just go, hey, what are yins up to?
Yins.
Mhm.
Yins.
Not Yinzers.
Yins,
Okay.
which
That's
he's
what
a Yinzer.
people who
one who
would say
who-
that.
Oh,
one who,
who
one
say
who
Yinzer,
Yins
Yinzers.
is
Oh,
a
okay.
Yinzer.
So, yins is a second person plural
I thought
pronoun
I thought
used
that was-
mainly in Western Pennsylvania English. It is most prominent in Pittsburgh, but also found throughout the region known as Appalachia.
I'd like to say, for
Appalachia.
those who can't see, that Tony does have all his teeth. He did not come down from the mountain.
Right.
Yeah, that's correct.
So every time we hear Appalachia, I think I remember seeing some documentary. I don't even know what it was on, but they were like people were putting Mountain Dew in baby bottles in the mountains and
Oh,
feeding their
geez.
children Mountain Dew, which I still have in my refrigerator. Back when I was going to test Tony's true statement that Mountain Dew was originally meant to mix your whiskey and Mountain Dew. But I'm sorry, I just have a regular cocktail tonight. I've not added any Mountain Dew
You gotta
to my
report
bourbon.
back, Brian. You gotta do it and then report back and really.
I'm gonna start saying Yins if I come back and I'm like, Yin's
thought
gotta try this. It's delicious.
Yeah. I thought Yins was that Japanese currency, is it not?
Do we want to go through some? Do we want to play a little game and go through some Pittsburgh area words and have you guys guess what they are?
Oh,
Sure.
absolutely.
I love
I
that.
do.
Yeah.
All right.
Does Pittsburgh have a state song or a motto we could play here that'll make it, real jazzy?
Black and yellow. We
a
talked
segment?
about this last week.
Oh yes, Wiz Khalifa, right? So
I don't know about this.
Is that appropriate?
Probably Here We Go, which we've also talked about.
That's
very
so
early
bad.
on, like
That's-
episode 1 or 2. We talked about that.
Yes.
Okay, so I
I'm
found a
not
nice
playing that
little
song.
list here.
That song is awful, by the way.
You're not
So
playing
is the Super
Black
Bowl
and
Shuffle.
Yellow?
It's okay.
Oh,
No, here we go. All right, give me a term, and Winston and I'll try and guess what it is from Western Pennsylvania.
at
At?
At?
A-T?
AHT.
Odd? What's odd?
At? Is that like
At?
Yeah,
At.
is that like at?
Can
What?
you use it in a sentence,
Yeah, can you?
please?
Yeah,
If I use it in a sentence, you're gonna get it. But
Okay, context clues.
um,
Where y'all at?
yeah. That's what I thought it was supposed to be.
Yin's going out tonight.
At. Okay, out.
Out.
Out is
okay.
out.
So
Okay.
you'll find a lot of ow or tow sounds get mushed. So you go at, and maybe you're going out downtown.
Downtown.
Maybe you're going downtown, watch a Steelers
Downtown.
game.
This is the middle step.
Stillers.
Stillers?
Stillers.
The Stillers?
Still is.
Pittsburgh Stillers?
English is fun.
Yes.
from an outside perspective. It's real fun, guys.
Winston,
Winston's like, oh, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Winston.
Sure.
Yeah.
if I went to Waffle House,
Uh-huh.
rampant here in this area, and I
You
ordered,
dared talk bad about Waffle House.
if I ordered dippy eggs, what kind of eggs have I ordered?
Runny eggs, scrambled eggs.
Not scrambled.
Would it be over easy? No. What is the No, not sunny
Yes.
side up.
Over easy.
Over easy.
Over easy. So the yolks are still runny. You break that open, and then you dip your toast in them. Those are dippy eggs.
So if you walk into a Waffle House down here and say dippy eggs, they know what you're talking
No
about.
one has a freaking clue. No, I had to. Listen, I didn't know they were called over easy until I was an adult, and then I went out and ordered them, and somebody went, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was
Buddy, that's something on the child."
scrambled. Never mind. Something else.
Default to scramble.
Forget what I said.
He walks in a Waffle House now, order a dippy egg. They're gonna tell him to get the hell out of here.
Sir, we don't
Someone's gonna
serve
pull a
adults
gun.
off the children's menu. That's what it sounds like. I want the dippy eggs. They sound very fun.
He said, "How about you leave? How about
Yeah.
that?"
What's a gum band?
It's like rubber
Gum?
band.
It's a rubber band.
Oh, okay.
Look at me.
Here's
gumshoe,
Winston's
yeah.
redemption.
Yeah.
Right
This
there.
is a weird game show you're on, Winston.
No, literally. Do I win any prizes?
Yeah, you're like, I'll take Western
get a
Pennsylvania dialects for $100.
You get a Pittsburgher for
I'll buy you a terrible towel. How about that?
What is a terrible towel? That sounds like a.
Oh my gosh. 2 seconds, let me get mine.
He has a terrible towel. What is this?
I'm assuming a terrible towel is like a towel that nobody uses.
Is he
or
saying
like it's-
towel or
it's-
towel? I can't tell with his accent.
I feel like it's a towel, right?
It's enough that I've got it within distance.
Yeah, 5 seconds. You've got.
you
You've
see
got.
these now just stolen marketing, but you see them at sports games. But the
Sports games.
original was
Dun, dun, dun.
from Pittsburgh.
The terrible towel.
The
Oh,
terrible
wow.
towel by Myron Cope, and you wave it at the sports games for your team. But it's a Pittsburgh thing. It's a Steelers thing that everybody else has stolen.
They stole.
Why-
They started it. How do we know they started it? We have documentation. They started
It
it. Huh?
says on it says on
It
the
says
towel.
so right here.
Look what it says at the bottom.
We freaking
A
started it.
Pittsburgh original.
Oh well, I mean, you know,
So what do you use it for? Do you only use it to wave it at a
wave.
football game?
I'm showing my
you just-
support.
everybody likes to spin them.
Oh,
It's like a foam finger, except it's unique. But it was a Pittsburgh thing that everyone else like. Oh, we'll do a towel. Yeah.
Hey, man.
yeah.
Multi-useful. Okay, so we're gonna have to fact check this, right? Or are you fairly confident, Tony, that this was?
I am very confident in that.
Okay. All right.
Crazy.
If I went, okay, I've got some deli words.
Deli words, as in
Deli.
words at
If
the
I
deli.
went to the deli and I ordered a pound, I'll preface this. I don't say this word. I don't use this one. Don't
it's
like
not-
this one.
it's
It
not
is
real.
fun though. If I went and ordered a pound of jumbo,
Jumbo
what did I just order?
Shrimp.
Nope.
chicken.
Nope.
What the hell is a jumbo? Sausage. It got to be sausage.
Elephant.
Winston's
Hot
getting
dogs.
closer.
It's hot dogs.
Closer.
Brats.
You're almost there, Winston. What would a giant hot dog be at a deli?
A frank. A glizzy. A warts. I don't know. What do you call
Would
it?
you say a wart?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bologna.
Is he a wart? A what?
Baloney.
Bologna.
Oh,
Baloney. It has a first name.
that's a whole load of baloney, man.
If
Did you
I-
guys eat bologna sandwiches? Anybody
No,
eat bologna
I was
sandwich?
a ham
Yeah.
guy. I hate bologna. You like bologna? Like unironically?
smoothie?
There-
Yeah.
Are
man.
people ironically liking bologna? That's just weird.
It sounds terrible.
I think you just like bologna or you don't like bologna.
Is how do you spell bologna? Is it
Ironically,
Bologna?
G-N-A.
Okay. Why is it an A? Again, English is fun.
Bologna.
Why is
Italy.
it
Italian.
Bologna and not Bologna?
It's Italian, isn't it?
It's Italian. It came
Yeah.
from, I suppose the original bologna came from Bologna, Italy.
Right, but mozzarella is mozzarella. It's not pronounced any other way, right? And that's
People call it mozzarella, which again infuriates me. I'm going, that's not really.
Mozzarella.
mozzarella.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I'm
shake
going,
it,
no,
like
no,
Winston
no, no.
shaking it.
Yeah.
That's how you really know you mean it.
Mozzarella.
It's a good mozzarella. It's not that, you
Yeah.
know, it's not that cheese sticks that we bread and eat. If you and I were dropped in Western Pennsylvania, you and I'd be screwed. We'd be walking around
for
going, I don't know
sure.
what to eat for lunch here.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. God forbid if we don't have a car, we get a hitch ride with one of those freaking mountain people. We're gonna die, man.
The Appalachian
Well,
Mountain people.
I'm so glad that when I came from Vietnam, I didn't live up there. That's all I have to say.
So you landed in Atlanta?
Yeah.
How did you learn
Atlanta
about
has
y'all?
its own things though.
Yeah,
How did I learn? How did I learn y'all?
y'all?
Y'all was, I mean, my teachers at the time. I mean, they're from Atlanta and they've always lived in Atlanta, so I think that's why.
Did you ever learn y'all though? Like I remember like
In
ain't and
Vietnam?
y'all
No.
weren't real words up north. Like
No, I learned y'all by myself. I Google y'all. I'm like, what is a y'all? And then it was like you all. I'm like, oh, okay. Or ain't, like you said.
yeah.
So when I first learned
Am I
ain't,
not?
yeah, I use ain't so much, even in paper, like in like
Oh,
academic
really?
paper. Yeah,
Didn't it
and they were
say
like,
when you looked it up that that's not a real word?
no, it was I typed it out in Word and it showed up red, but I'm like, that's a real word. I'm just gonna leave it in. And then like it got to the point where like my teacher had to tell me like you gotta stop writing that
All right,
in. I was
listen,
like,
man.
okay. Yeah.
That ain't right. You can't
That ain't
put that
right.
in
Exactly.
your papers.
Yeah.
Ain't being the contraction for am I not, which is hilarious because ain't sounds like y'all, but it's like
yeah.
but then if you don't use it, am I not?
Am I not? Yeah,
Am
like
I not offending you all?
yeah. That's just you sound so like,
It sounds
British
very
with it.
proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The
Well,
Queen's English.
that's where the Southern accent came from.
From the
So
English.
if you take
Yeah.
a British accent and you slow it down and draw it out or drawl it out, you get a Southern drawl.
Right.
So
So
if you've got
you
if you've got a very proper if you've got a very
shiny
proper British accent and you slow it down just a little bit, and all of a sudden you've got a Southern accent.
That's
And you can
so
slide
good.
you slide right into it.
Well done.
That's so
Well
good.
done.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who knew
So
that
I'll-
this show is called Tricky Linguistics with Tony?
So I'll say this. So I think that's why one of the reasons why I was able to understand, Southern English so
Because they
easily
slowed it down.
was because when I was in Vietnam, a lot of my English teacher were from A, England, or B, Australia. So which are just,
Oh.
two different variation of Southern English,
Well, I guess it's Queen's English.
Yeah.
And then the variation when they sent all their prisoners to Australia. Hopefully I don't
Yeah.
anger any
The
Australian
Outback
listeners.
English. And then
It's the Outback.
yeah.
And then we hang on.
Colony
See,
English.
either of you see Crocodile Dundee? Huge movie series
no.
in the 80s.
I
Yes.
didn't watch it. I know of it. I didn't watch it though.
You do know of Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah. Everybody know Crocodile Dundee. Where's Chad at?
Chat, you know who Crocodile Dundee is?
Yo, Chad.
That's a knife. Yeah, that was how most that's how they primed the pump for Americans to then be advertised Outback Grill years
yeah.
later after Crocodile Dundee.
On a side note, did everybody see that Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Apparently the
Yeah.
downfall was the never-ending shrimp.
No way.
No,
like
it's,
every headline I haven't read any
yes,
of those
and
articles,
nobody's
but
done
every
any
headline
research.
says
It's
yeah,
it
everybody's
was
like, they
the
should've.
group that came in and bought the company for their real estate.
I think they put out a statement earlier today too.
It's
There you
like
go.
because there's
Blackbridge,
they're all over the place,
Blackbridge or
right?
something like that. But they bought the company for its real estate.
Not for the biscuits, huh?
And then there's a bunch of hanky stuff that went on with selling rights to the name and the real estate and all that kind of stuff. It went to this company for the real estate, then it went to another company. I want to say it was a Japanese company that basically was selling them their shrimp for the endless shrimp stuff, but like at a huge markup after they're now paying exorbitant amounts of rent. This company bought the property, then sold it, and then leased it to the franchisees. Like, it's a mess. Yeah.
I'm trying to look up the closest Red Lobster to see if it's still open.
There's one in Duluth.
Yeah,
Well, they haven't, I mean, they haven't closed within the day, but
was it? I mean, I don't know if they closed within the last few days because I haven't passed by there. That's why I'm checking.
Oh,
Why did I
jeez,
type
man.
Google Lobster? What's wrong
Google
with me?
Lobster.
They are. Oh, they're all open. Multiple.
yeah. That's why
I'm
I
going to
said
get some biscuits right now.
It's a fake,
get them while
it was
you
a fake
can.
bankruptcy. Yeah, it was a fake bankruptcy. So I'm reading their statement. It says here, bankruptcy is a word that is often misunderstood. Filing for bankruptcy does not mean we are going out of business. In fact, it means just the opposite. It is a legal process that allows us
does
to
not
make
mean just
change
the
to
opposite.
our
That's not
business
true.
and our cost structure so that Red Lobster can continue as a stronger company going forward. As many of you will know, we recently made a tough decision to close a number of our restaurants. They just said filing for bankruptcy does not mean we're going out of business. and then proceed to go. As you know, we closed
We
the
had
part
to
of our
go-
restaurant.
we-
It's like, which one
we
is
had
it,
to,
bro?
yeah, we had to close part of our business.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Bankruptcy
But,
doesn't mean we're completely broke, but we're real close.
we're right
Look,
there.
I look
Here's-
at Red
here's
Lobster
my
as
thing.
the Olive Garden of seafood restaurants. That's
Oh, but Olive Garden's good though.
no, it is not.
They were both were owned by Darden at one
Darden
point in
Group,
time.
yeah. That's
Here's my question: how is Red Lobster going out of business, but Melting Pot is still kicking?
The question of the ages,
Yeah.
man.
It
until
has to
you
be a
go there
money
and eat
laundering
there, we're not
scheme.
gonna know.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'll get there and they're gonna like, put a gun to my head and then escort me to the back and start packing up like cocaine or something. It has to be a
they're gonna
front.
say you're gonna write a 5-star Yelp review. We're gonna comp your meal. We're
You're gonna work. We're gonna work in the back till you can own a franchise.
Yeah. This franchise is actually yours now.
Yeah.
You're the first customer in 5 years.
We
sir.
comped your meal and used your payment as a down payment for the franchise fee that you now own. Congratulations.
Oh, that's
Well,
hilarious,
speaking of
actually.
academia, before we did want to circle back to last episode and
that's right.
and get to a Bryan college story.
Oh, that's right. We veered off of ADD theater and
Yeah.
started talking about, I don't know if it was Tony's Eminem chucking tendency.
Yeah, that's right.
Or, Winston's glamour models career. Yeah, when I was thinking about this, I was like, what college story could I possibly tell? I do have a lot, especially, like freshman year, I lived in the dorms. The way my dorms worked were less progressive as they are today. Like the first 3 floors of the dorm hall were guys, and then floors 4 through 6 were all girls. So it was very weird because you couldn't be on each other's floor after a certain hour, but then there was you had stairwells that connected them all. It was very strange. So I was trying to think of what is the best possible story I could tell about college, and I don't know how many are incriminating or how I had to figure out a balance of-
Incriminating.
yeah, incriminating. I don't know. There. Okay, I'll tell a mini one right now. There was one time my friend and I were making our way through the stairwell after hours, and I think we were going to visit some friends on the girls' floor, and we heard what sounded like an RA outside of we're in the stairwell, and it sounded like an RA in the hallway. And so we look at each other, we're like, oh my God, we, in our brain, we're like, they're hunting us down. Like this is, they've got, they know there are men in the corridor, please, to find them. And so we look at each other, and we'd gone up to the 4th floor, right? And so then we run down to the 1st floor, which is the guys' dorms, and the bottom thing has one of those exit things that says alarm will sound if pushed.
Oh shit.
And so we look at each other. I'm like, I don't believe that's true, right? That's probably just BS to deter people from taking off out the doors. Well, turns out it was not. It actually
It went off.
we pushed open the door, and immediately this loud alarm started happening in the stairwell. And I mean, we just booked it. We just booked it as far as we could away from the dorms, and probably came back like an hour or 2 later. That's
Was people outside by the time you guys got back or no?
No. So we stayed away long enough that we thought, if we're far enough away and we don't even acknowledge what possibly could go on here at the base of the dorms, we won't be implicated in any way. We were just out for a longer night out on campus, and now we're just getting home.
If you just show up and also look confused and worried, like what's going on?
Like Tony's story. What's going on? Is there noise?
Who did that?
This episode, if anybody's watching live, makes no sense because all the things we're referring to is from the last episode of the podcast, which was pretty funny. But let me go ahead and retroactively plug last week's podcast or last episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to say first, I have another funny story, but cheers to us, even though you guys aren't drinking. Episode 31. And also wanted to plug Rabbit Productions, Dwan, doing all the music for the show. It's added after the fact. We're here talking, and I often forget to plug that. So if you dig any of the music before and after the outro music, that is Rabbit Productions. Check them out on iTunes. There you go.
XIV. All Roman numerals.
All Roman numerals.
As we've discussed before.
Right.
How many people, though? Winston, did you have a Roman numerals section in your school class?
What do you mean?
Lesson?
Like
Did
learning
you learn
about
Roman numerals?
Here's the thing. Funny enough, I only
didn't.
know up to 10 in Roman numerals. So when I
Right.
watch the Super Bowl and they start throwing in V's and stuff, I'm like, what the hell does that
V is
mean?
five.
Five. You didn't learn 10 and 5?
Okay, now that makes a lot more sense. Okay, V is 5. Is there any other one that isn't in
X.
there?
L is
X.
L.
L, that's right. It's L,
Oh,
not
X
V.
is 10, so he would have learned that if you learned
Yeah,
1
so
to
I know
10.
10, I know
Okay.
5, I know 3, 2, 1, but I don't know what L is. Yeah.
50. That's why there was Super Bowl XL.
Yeah.
few years
What's
ago.
40? Is it
Will be
X
it four X's?
XIV?
6.5 hours later.
50 is L, so one before would be
Okay, so
IL.
it's not just me who has a deficiency in this
Yeah,
area.
that's why
This
we
was
don't
something
use
I
this.
learned,
That's
but then
why
let
we
it
don't
go.
use this as
Yeah,
accounting system.
I let
anymore. It
it
doesn't make
go.
any freaking sense.
Yeah,
So glad we're not the Romans.
yeah.
How
And Winston
to
gets to
write-
America. You mean I gotta learn numbers
Yeah.
with letters? What the
Get to
hell,
America,
man?
and they're like, yeah. So check out this concept. It's
Oh, yeah,
numbers,
so-
but by letters. Like,
Hey,
what
hear, me,
the fuck?
hear me out. It's numbers,
So-
but instead
so-
we use letters.
So it's so funny.
It's like
you
color
say-
by numbers, but it's numbers by letters.
Okay, so yeah.
Sorry, no
so
coloring book.
49 is XLIX.
Yeah, Tony and I already
Okay.
got that. We stumbled
Okay.
through
It's
it.
just the view of you right now, Winston, is you just staring up into the sky looking very confused.
It says
Just don't-
99
okay.
is
When the Super Bowl comes around, they will tell you which one it is, and then you
Yeah.
can look at the number. They don't make you sort
That's
it out
fair.
yourself.
you want
They'll
to
tell
figure out you want to try to see what's 999 is in Roman numerals.
No, there's.
Tony,
are
you
you-
want to
Well,
attempt it?
1,000 you said is
Oh, geez, Tony. Of
M.
course, Tony's gonna.
so
Yeah,
it'd be
you
one
posed it as a
M
puzzle. Tony's
No,
like, I have
it's
to
not
figure this
one
out.
M. It's not one M. That's
or
what I'm
I
saying.
am.
It's
got 99 problems.
CMXCIX.
So is that?
It would be
is-
100 before M. Yes. No, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
Is this?
I hate
What's?
this. I hate
who's
this.
who's Charlie? What is that? What is that pop singer? Charlie
XCX.
Yeah, what is that? Is she using Roman numerals? Is that what that
I
means?
mean, technically,
Yeah, or is that like the model number? She's a robot and she, pop singer XCX model.
Roman numeral 33. No, that's not. Right.
She's not 33 years
Nope.
old.
No.
No.
Brian, you got another story?
Oh yeah, no. So this was a combo story that I thought of that was really funny because it involved something that we've talked about, like getting film developed on a camera. When when you had your cameras, you took your pictures, you got your film developed much later. That's developed much later. I'm not sure why that sounded Russian, but perhaps I developed it later.
Accent-ish
Yeah.
episode.
Unintentional. Bourbon. There was a thing at my college called Watermelon Bust. And
What is that?
yeah.
The Gallagher
So-
Fest.
Ah.
You make that reference. Does Winston know who Gallagher is? Probably not.
You know Gallagher?
Frank
It's like, I'm trying to
Gallagher?
figure out Roman numerals. I don't know what the hell you guys
No,
are talking
I
about.
don't-
Some weird guy from the 70s that busted
I only
watermelon.
know Frank Gallagher. He's a character from a
No,
TV
no.
show.
I'll carry on not to get sidetracked down this road. It was a festival that happened, or Watermelon Bust was like games. You did a lot of things: greased watermelon carry races, all sorts of watermelon themed activities. On my floor, this freshman year, on the floor of my dorm, we had the RA, the resident. What is this? Assistant? Is that what RA stands for?
Sure.
Sure. R.A. Rowan, he was from South Africa. This guy was awesome, right? He was like the cool RA, right? Like, hey guys, I know you guys are in there, being crazy, but can we keep it down? It's after midnight or whatever. He was the cool RA. So he was also in a fraternity. And I remember when Watermelon Bust came around, he and his fraternity were joining, and they needed, either he was being nice or they needed more people to fill out their team. So he recruited some of the freshmen in the hall, right? So we all go down, like we get up at like 10 o'clock in the morning. We like pile over to his fraternity house and everybody's drinking. And I'm like, my brain is going, it's 10 in the morning. Something deep inside me tells me we should not be drinking at this hour. I have no problem against drinking, but drinking at 10 a.m. seems really, really not a good idea.
Everyone's
And-
drinking and blasting Tracy Bird.
Tracy Bird? No.
Watermelon Crawl?
I don't know. Is that country? There was
Oh,
no
yeah.
country. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there was no country in the 90s at the Ball State campus.
Oh.
It was probably Wu-Tang Clan or Snoop Dogg
Okay.
playing there. And so we're drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then our team makes it over to the fields. And by this point, the actual event is kind of fuzzy of what actually happened. I know there were greased watermelons. I know there were several watermelons, dropped out of people's hands on the ground, split open. That's about all I can tell you with certainty. There were a lot of watermelons involved. And then after this point, everything's really hazy. You're like, yeah, we obviously made it back to the dorms. And I think we all probably, took a shower, because everybody was gross. It was hot out, and it was the beginning of school. Took a shower and probably passed out, and that was it for the night. It was a very early Saturday night. Well, during this time is when we had cameras. So I had my camera with me because, hey, I'm a freshman at college. I'm taking pictures of all the stuff that's going on. And so I end up, taking a bunch of pictures that night. And then we pass out, and then you eventually get your camera. You could take the film to get developed, maybe a week later or whatever. Then you get your pictures back a couple weeks later after that. So now a good amount of time has gone past this festival. So I get the pictures back, and that was always exciting because you're like, what did I get? Are there any good ones on here that I snapped a month ago? So I start sorting through the pictures, and there's the totally like us drinking, arms up in the air early in the morning. Then there's some pictures of something out in a field with people with watermelons in some fashion. And then as I'm going through the pictures, now we're heading back to the dorms. We're shirtless, wearing jean shorts, by the way, because it was early 1990. Yeah, jean shorts on purpose. Yeah, and we've got paint smeared all over us. At some point prior to the contest, we decided to put all sorts of paint on us, and we're like all painted up, like colors of whatever. And as you're going through these pictures, you see this, then you see us heading back to the dorms. Now we're in the showers. Now keep in mind, the dorms that I had communal showers. So it's like a long row of showers. You've got dividers in between, but there's no doors.
Yeah.
It's one step above high school showers.
Is it the one with the curtain at least, or no?
I don't even know if there's a curtain. I don't think there's a curtain.
Oh, jeez.
It's just a stall. It's a stall. You might as well be at a Love's truck stop at this point.
Literally.
So, but luckily though, nobody decides to disrobe. Everybody's showering in their jean shorts and shoes because, we've been drinking grain alcohol since 10 a.m. that morning.
Weirder.
Yeah.
Right. Your jeans short is all like wet.
Yeah, nobody got undressed.
Yeah,
there was no question that nobody was getting undressed. Yeah. And so as I'm going through the pictures, now you see people getting into the showers. And then the next set of pictures, heading towards the showers. The next set of pictures is like a couple snaps of my friends passed out, sitting in the bottom of the showers, propped up against the wall, in their paint, in their jean shorts, soaking wet, completely passed out against the wall. I'm guessing I wasn't in any of those pictures, and it was my camera, so I'm guessing I was able to power through and make it out of the showers back to the room, but not before snapping pics of my friends and dorm mates and hall mates on the floor passed out in the showers.
That's hilarious.
So there you go. I did not end up in the building of a class that I went to, but I did have pictures of my friends if they ever plan on running for office that could surface.
Yeah.
Although I don't think anybody from our generation is running for office.
We'll call TMZ and really boost the popularity of this podcast.
If somebody, if one of my friends decide, I don't think I'm still in contact with some of those guys, not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, none of them have political aspirations. So
okay, it's a little too late now.
I have the film, but that's the thing, though, man. Things used to be on film.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw today. And again, I'm always skeptical about what's thrust into what people are talking about. But I kid you not, I saw an article today that said there may be a resurgence of the waterbed.
No way.
Really?
You haven't seen this? This must not be your corner of TikTok, because everything from what I see, again, as the old guy who finds out about news stories 3-4 days later, actually after they're relevant, there was an article about how Gen Z is, I guess, a corner of TikTok. I guess sleep talk. Does that sound familiar, Winston?
Not for me. I don't be on sleep talk at all.
You're too old. I think you're too old. I think
that's just a very specific topic to be on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to download TikTok, and I won't download TikTok, but from what I hear, it seems like there's very specific weird corners.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Tony?
The algorithm feeds you things that you interact with or tend to watch a lot. So if you have interest in that, then it's going to feed you more of that.
Last week, I pull up, TikToks of furries. I'm genuinely scared to check whether or not it's a bunch of furry on my TikTok this time.
Okay, because of again, man, this is a companion episode. This might as well be part 2, continued from last week. This is what happens now. We have a through storyline. So Winston researches pictures of furries. Now all of your TikTok. One thing I did realize is we didn't explain to people who don't know what furries are. How would you, Tony? How would you explain furries?
I thought we explained it well enough.
How would you explain a furry? Like, okay, say you got,
I would explain it like this. I would think that there's levels again, because
no, you're
hold on.
You're making a whole lot of assumptions.
No,
I am Joe Public from Iowa.
I had to look up furry stuff for the show as well, and so I was also getting fed furry things. I understand where Winston's coming from.
Right, you guys are just trying to clear it with your girlfriends. Don't check
trying to deflect.
Yeah.
There was a video of this guy going, it doesn't mean that people are like weirdly into animals, like inappropriately, but it's people who like anthropomorphized animals.
Yeah.
Man,
And then
that's
the next step is then getting a like mascot looking costume to go wear.
You were doing exactly. I am like random dude off the street in Iowa, and you say furry. You've already jumped ahead in assumptions about what I know about what a furry is.
Okay, think of any children's cartoon where they are animals that walk around like people.
I like Scooby-Doo. He walks around like a person.
No, he doesn't. Well,
No,
Scooby
he
walks
doesn't.
around on 4 legs.
On all 4, yeah.
Snoopy.
So,
Snoopy
Scooby's still a
walks on 2
dog?
legs, but Snoopy doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Still not.
Pluto.
Pluto walks
Goofy.
on all 4.
Walks on.
No.
Yes, Goofy is technically a dog, but that's people are for some reason confused on that. Mickey Mouse. Let's just take Mickey. We'll take.
Damn it,
the easy
Winston.
one.
Here's the Disney chip. I suppose I walked him into this, but I don't know.
I would have gone with Lola Bunny, but I was.
No, we're not going there. We're trying to have a normal.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry.
Mickey Mouse. We'll take it even old school. Let's say Felix the cat.
Oh, that's way back. That's way
Felix
before
the
that.
cat, Mighty Mouse. They're animals that walked around like people.
Right.
Yeah.
They wore clothes. You look at Looney Tunes, all of that. If you are a person that is not necessarily into the humor of Looney Tunes, but you're into the walking, talking animals, you're a furry.
Yeah.
No, I think that simplifies it. But isn't the furry the one step further, where you decide to get a suit and dress up as said upright
No, I think
walking
technically,
animal?
if you are into anthropomorphic,
No, I think that's bestiality.
I think if you're in
No,
if
Winston,
you want
that's a step further, man. Come on. Dial it back,
that's
buddy.
when it's weird.
As if dressing up in a furry suit isn't.
Right. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I
Stop
know
looking at
enough
furry stuff on your
I
computer.
didn't want to Google it, but I'm gonna Google it.
the difference between someone who's into bestiality and furries. It's a very
No,
thin
come
line.
on,
Oh.
Winston. We're not going down that road. You're going 2 steps too forward.
A furry is someone who is interested
He
in
Googled it.
anthropomorphic animals or animals with human characteristics, such as the ability to talk or walk on their hind legs.
I'm sorry, man. Monkeys are funny as hell. They don't talk, but they do walk on their hind legs.
Tony, you remember way back how there was that one app called Talking Tom? You remember that?
Yeah.
The cat?
So yeah.
Yep.
So did you remember the controversy that came from Talking Tom? Not Tom specifically, but Angela the cat.
No.
So Angela.
Wait a second. So let me explain this, because I actually know what you're talking about, and this is funny because this is when we, I think, got an iPad,
Yeah.
and the children were old enough to kind of start playing some games. So you start looking for some games. And was it Tom the cat and Angela
Tom
the cat? They were like,
there was Ben the dog and then Angela the cat, who was
right.
supposed to
And
be
you
Tom's girlfriend.
interacted with them. You pet them, and
You can pet them. You can talk to it, and they'll repeat back in like a high pitched voice. or
That's
whatnot.
right.
Yeah.
Man, a slice of years there at best.
Right. Yeah. But did you remember like Angela Cat was almost like the very first victim of cancel culture?
No.
Yeah, she got
What did people make her
canceled, like-
say? What did
No,
people make her
they got
say?
rid of her because they were like, why are we making a cat sexy? If I remember
Oh.
correctly, that was it. That was the reason why they got rid of it. Because they were like, why is she flirty? Why is she and then I think
I
some
never
people-
thought that.
some people believe it was a spying device because like she could hear things. It's like, yeah,
Well, of
idiot,
course, you turn-
freaking
yeah.
activate the microphone. It's just like, are you stupid?
Which is funny,
Um,
because now like people don't even think about that anymore, and that's absolutely
Yeah.
what happens. Your microphone and your GPS are going off on your phone, whether you know it or not.
Listen,
So-
people have been, as we discussed last time, people have been asking the question, why'd you make that animal sexy? There's no
No.
need.
Yeah.
There's
Literally.
why
it
did
sells-
Nala give that look to Simba in Lion King?
No, seriously,
know,
I know
he's-
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
too.
Elton John singing his song, and she gives him that look, and we just go, there. Why? Somebody, that's multiple frames. Somebody drew many pictures of that, and it got put in there.
See, the millennials are the ones that really started watching those things without kids. Or I guess when did Lion
There you
King come
go.
out? How old were you when Lion King came out, Tony?
Lion King
was
came out in
in-
1992.
Man, he had that at the fingertips. That's
Wasn't he
impressive.
94.
Five.
I'm sorry,
Ah,
94.
Okay.
That's close. I think
So-
Aladdin was 92.
Here's a fun forum I found from 2014.
Okay. I don't
called
need
Family. It's called Family Tech Zone, and the post title said, "Is Talking Angela a predator? Why? What? Why would you even come to that conclusion in the first place?"
Why was Tom? Was it Tom? Thomas? Tom?
Tom?
Why was Tom not a predator? It's the
knows?
same freaking app.
Yeah,
It's the
but-
exact same technology.
yeah.
that's
Apparently,
sexism.
they just believe that Talking Angela is a front for predator with sinister intent.
Well,
There's a quote on it that said, "Is the app My Talking Angela dangerous?" And it's just like, this is so stupid.
what year was that they came out?
2013, 2014. 2014 is
Man, it seems
Yeah.
like, well, I guess that is 10 years ago. I would think that we were a little more wise about technology back then, but
Yeah.
that was 10 years
Okay,
ago.
I'm
I don't
looking into
think-
this now.
yeah.
Scaryforkids.com.
That's just a
Um,
weird site to begin with, right
Yes. It said the app had been taken over by a creepy guy who uses it to spy on children and possibly kidnap them.
there. Who said that?
Listen, I'm quoting this article. It said that if you're over 18, nothing happens. But if you're younger, the cat starts asking weird things like, where do you live? What are your parents' names? What's your phone number?
That's
etc.
untrue. That is untrue.
Yes. It's also apparently if you zoomed into the cat's eyes, like all I did was type in Talking Angela, and the first Google auto result is eyes.
What happens if you
Apparently,
zoom
if
into
you
the eyes?
zoom into its eyes, you could see people.
Dead people?
They say that a creepy man's able to take photos and record video of you through the phone's camera. And if you zoom in and look carefully at the cat's eyes, you can actually see him. Sometimes it's just an empty room, but sometimes you can see a guy watching you. Even if you close the app, it keeps running in the background so he can watch you and take pictures. What the?
Who put that out there? That's totally not true.
No.
Wait.
No, this
Hold
has got to
on,
be
hold
like
on, hold on,
urban
hold on.
legend kind of
No,
stuff.
so hold on.
Is
I'm
this an
reading
Onion
into this.
article? This sounds like an Onion article.
I'm reading into this, and there's
You guys are
there's a
both going in
child
research
mode.
mode.
There's a child mode built into this app. Like it was not meant for children's in the first place. Because why
not
would
true.
there be a child? No, because why is there a child mode? And then down here, apparently, if you do a text chatting with Angela, you can
You can't. Was that a feature? That was never a feature
Apparently-
when I knew of it.
Apparently, it says here, what happened if you turn child mode off? As any child can relatively easily and start chatting to Angela using the text box at the bottom of the screen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She say something along the line of cat sex is hair raising. It's perfect.
Yeah. Where's the video?
It's an
People
article.
are making this up.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
article.
you would have videos of it everywhere. Somebody'd make a TikTok about it at
It's
this
an
point.
article from the Guardian.
Oh, unless they have stuff, Winston, you could have yourself a viral TikTok hit right now.
Yeah. But
Record an
apparently,
explainer.
right. But it says here, turn child mode on, yada, yada.
Are we supposed to be looking at your desktop?
No. Okay.
Oh.
I'm
Because
so
we
sorry.
are.
That's all right. Just making sure.
I didn't need to see a picture of you in a Speedo. That was unsettling.
Oh, sorry. Here we go. Can you see it? The Guardian said, what our Talking Angela app is really saying to your kids.
Okay, so I don't even care about the article. Show me a video.
Yeah.
Show me a video. This is where this
I
happens.
I don't know if there's a
Yeah,
video. But
we
look at
don't
that.
have video. We have
Said,
screenshots.
You know what's fun too? A clothing swap party. Have you ever been to such a party?
Yeah, that's totally made up.
Yeah,
Whatever
there's
this
no way.
publication is like fully
Does-
resulting in like a Photoshop.
Does
That-
this app still exist?
I don't know.
I think so.
Talking. What is it? Talking Thomas or Talking Angela?
Talking Angela. It is
Now that
on
you
the
say
App
that, it is
Store.
kind of creepy. There you go.
There you go.
We know what Winston's doing this Friday night.
Hey man, but
I think we should all download this.
I'm not
Hold on.
downloading that at all. Be
Winston,
whoever you want. Okay,
hold
so
on,
now-
hold on. Winston, I
Winston's-
think me and you should download this interact with it for a week and see what happens.
Yeah, I want to see if you can get to
find
say
out
weird
all
things.
my dirty secret. So my Talking Angela 2 is what we're on now. We don't even get the old one anymore. We got like spin-offs of like freaking.
No, I've got My Talking Angela and My Talking Angela 2
I see
on the
it,
App
yeah.
Store. And I've got
here it
My
goes.
Talking Angela, My Talking Angela 2, Talking Angela.
Oh, we got
Talking
Ginger.
Angela is the one.
No my in that one.
Talking Angela is the one we want to get.
All right, that's
All right.
weird.
At least one of us has to download this app and see.
Yeah, I want to try it out, see what it really does. But I don't know if they still have the feature where you can type and text,
Yeah,
text
I don't know.
what's
They
on.
look like they're completely different apps from what these articles are showing.
Right.
Speaking of scary things and college stories, I'm going to tell this. I had a college roommate, very good friend of mine, also named Brian.
Yeah.
He freaked the crap out of me one
why?
night. He had a bad habit of talking in his sleep. Usually it was just nonsense. He didn't do this often, but he would like wake up to roll over and be like, "Oh, the monkey's in the carburetor again." And go back to his like, it was always weird things like that. It was always nonsense.
Glad to come
But
back and
one
see new
night-
K-pop figures on the screen. Sorry.
One night, it's 2 a.m. Our dorm room had a bathroom in it. And he had a thing. He was just like, I like to make sure that no one's in here. We keep the bathroom door open. That's fine. Doesn't affect me.
The boogeyman.
I'm sleeping. I wake up. I was facing out into the room, facing the bathroom. I wake up enough to roll over. I'm now facing the wall. My friend Brian goes, "Oh, hey, Tony, tell whoever's in the bathroom to turn the light off."
No.
And I'm like, I don't like that at all. What's he seeing that I didn't see? Because I was just looking that way. And there's no freaking way I'm turning back over. I don't know what's over there. And maybe if I go to sleep, it'll go away.
It'll go away like the boogeyman.
I was like, I don't like that.
That's freaking creepy.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the whole story, but whilst in the bathroom, I was reminded of The Naked Gun. There's a gag where he is doing some sort of speech, Leslie Nielsen, and he goes off and he forgets to take off his microphone, right? And he's in the bathroom forever peeing. And then just recently, I heard about, have you heard about, there's this true crime documentary, The Jinx? And so apparently this dude, like who was like a serial killer, there was a season 1 talking about his crime. They record all this stuff, the documentary crew talk, and they actually get a conversation with him. And again, I'm probably horribly butchering the details, but the documentary crew films the whole first season and of just the story of this guy who was a serial killer. They realized like a year and a half later, while they're going through footage, that when he took a bathroom break, he still had his mic on and they were still recording. And he said some things while peeing, talking to himself that fully incriminated him that he did all of these murders, but they had like nothing on him. And then the dude sold himself out while talking, while peeing, while mic'd.
Yeah.
Was it The Jinx? Is it The Jinx? It's I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know what it was called, but I seen that clip of where he was admitting to all of it is what I remember watching on Twitter or whatnot. But yeah.
Between Twitter and TikTok, which one would do you scan one and then go to the other, or do you
it's really between those two, but I'll give you the actual screen time of my phone.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
I don't have mine turned on, but I would love to know this now. Tony, I would love to know yours.
Do
you have it turned on? Funny enough, it's not turned on.
Mine is turned on, but
what are we looking at?
Screen time.
Time. Okay, let me see if I.
What do you have? Monthly, daily?
Daily average.
I have it on daily, yeah.
Daily average is just under 4 hours.
Winston?
So daily average is 2 hours and 13 minutes.
I do not believe that for 1 second.
Yeah, apparently I don't believe it either, but apparently that's a thing.
All right, we're gonna have to check back on this.
That's only this week so far. We're very early into the week.
That's what I'm saying. I want to
get more or less during as the week goes on.
I don't know how to check prior weeks is what it is, but
I don't know either. Yeah.
Yeah, but it says here I've used Twitter for 56 minutes this week and TikTok for 44 minutes.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah. Oh, I found it. Last week, Twitter for 6 hours and 48 minutes and TikTok for 5 hours and 44 minutes.
You had more Twitter than TikTok.
Yeah. And last week I used a total of 60 hours and 4 minutes of screen time.
Okay.
60 hours?
Yeah.
You had more than a week of work staring at your phone?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a
week-
lot.
The week before that was 67 hours. But I average around 60 is what it looks like.
My screen
Wow.
time last week, total screen time, 23 hours, 40 minutes, which is disheartening to myself.
I don't have
I'm
mine turned
not
on.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
I got 4 hours and 40 minutes on TikTok and over 5 hours on my mobile game that I play.
Holy cow. I'll have to turn mine on. I never turned mine on because I don't.
You should.
I-
You should do it and report back after this week.
I do because I don't feel that I use my phone that much, but I'm probably grossly underestimating how much I look at my phone, but I don't know. I would like to know.
I mean, that's a fun comparison to do.
60
right?
yeah,
Since,
60 so we got
different
here's-
age range.
Here's what, yeah, honestly, that's how I see it. I was like Winston
Yeah.
at 60, Tony at what were you? 26,
23.
23, and then I
Mhm.
would imagine I'd probably be like a 10. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it would go down, you know.
But Tony also does a lot of things that's not on his phone. Like he'll play board games and he'll play like computer games and stuff. While I chronically am online, and that's
Yeah.
why I have a high screen time. Speaking of chronically online, have you guys ever heard of? I asked you guys already, but FCB, one of really
FCB?
take a wild
FCB,
guess
it's
as to
an
what
sounds like a-
acronym?
FCB is.
Uh,
It's an
Cabbage
acronym
baby.
for something. Oh,
it sounds like a bank.
It's close. What Brian said was real close, but
Wow.
it's
Fat
not.
Cabbage baby was close.
Yeah, it's close. I'll tell you the B in FCB is baby.
Okay, so is it F is not fat.
F is not fat, no.
Fat you baby.
It's not Football Club Barcelona.
Barcelona. It's
Okay.
pronounced Barcelona.
I
Okay.
give up.
Fiduciary cubicle baby.
So FCB stand for fully conscious baby. And-
Sounds like
and
a
the
police
reason-
reporting code. We're at the scene. We have an FCB, a fully conscious baby, but she's
yeah.
there's an accident, but she's okay.
And the reason why is because there was a
Let's do it.
clip of this little baby. His dad is holding him. His mom is recording, and
Of
I guess
course.
they're in their bedroom or whatever. And the mom goes, "I have a question for everybody. Who want to go to the Four Seasons in Orlando?" And the baby raised the one finger and goes, "Me."
How old is this kid?
I want to show you
Like
guys.
toddler. I
Toddler.
just saw
You seen it?
I
Okay.
saw a meme version of this already
Yeah.
today, and I immediately
conscious
swiped
baby is
past
pretty
it because
funny.
I went, "This is
Can you-
dumb."
Can you see this, Brian?
Yes.
All right.
This is Winston's first day on the tech job.
No, literally.
I have a question for everybody. Who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando?
Father and I would love to go to the Four Seasons Orlando trip. I would love to accompany you on this very exquisite adventure with my sister, my mother, and my father. How delighted am I to be able to reach this trip, the Four Seasons Orlando. This is absolutely splendid.
But yeah.
That sounds like slow down C3PO.
Yeah.
I bet you if we sped that
I-
part up, it would totally sound like
I was gonna
C3PO.
say I hate the AI reading.
Yeah, it's like if bad British accent. It's like C3PO in slow motion. But yeah, no, that's weird.
This
That
is the one
baby
that I
is-
saw. I think this might be the same one.
So
that
it's
me
been
and Tony watched.
This
memeified
is
to
the
hell,
one I
huh?
saw.
Dearest mother, oh how the heart yearns to impart upon thee the splendor and magnificence that is the Four Seasons in Orlando. Imagine, if you will, a realm where luxury and tranquility entwine like the threads of a finely woven tapestry. As the morning sun doth crest the horizon, casting its golden rays upon the verdant grounds, one is greeted by a panorama of
How
unparalleled...
long does this go on?
It's a
Gardens,
minute,
meticulous
but
It's
you
only
get
halfway
the
through.
Gist of it. Yeah,
Oh
you
my
get
gosh.
The gist of it.
That's pretty funny though.
But here's the thing: I looked up what the Four Seasons in Orlando look like.
It's on Disney property.
Go to the Four Seasons. It's freaking nice.
It's a nice resort, man.
I didn't know it was a Disney property.
Clearly
I
that
believe
child has been
I
there
believe it's
before,
on
huh?
property, yeah.
Holy shit! I searched Four Seasons, and Four Seasons Orlando was the first one that popped up.
That's big, and it's big right now.
Right.
I mean,
So-
yeah. Now, thanks to this baby, this
Yeah.
this little dude did more advertising for them than their entire marketing budget for
No,
the year. He brought
seriously.
in more business than that.
So the weird thing about it is,
If that family doesn't get a free trip to that resort,
no,
I don't.
seriously,
true.
There's no hope
They-
for
yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna say if they have some savvy, Gen Z on their staff in
Yeah.
the marketing team going, okay, we give them like a week at our vacation, Four Seasons, and we'll have them sign a contract that says
Yep.
we can use that and make that baby say anything laughing because the kids have
It's
seen the
fully
meme.
conscious.
Yeah. Yes, fully.
But so I look into it some more, and there was even a TikTok of like it was
Of course
like
there was.
somebody with a PhD in linguistic or something like that.
That's Tony tonight.
No, seriously. And they basically explained that like babies don't pick up on the word I or me as often because it's not something you say to a baby. You know what I mean? You don't say, oh, look at me and stuff like that, like to a baby. So for this tiny little baby to be fully aware of what me mean, and then on top of that, doing the little finger raise, that's insane to me.
Oh, well, slow it down. Did the siblings start it first? Because if the siblings started it first, the little one could see that and absolutely mimic the exact same thing that the sibling did.
The little girl.
We're
does
doing
do the
like
same
a
thing.
we're doing a JFK breakdown of the
No,
of
seriously.
the video with the little girl. Okay, let's see what she says.
Before we cross-reference JFK and children,
Oh, he doesn't
please
know.
let's wrap up. I don't want to know.
Okay, never.
Jeez, oh man.
We don't even need to ask Winston if
cross-reference,
he's seen JFK. He's not. We'll
Yeah,
just
I haven't seen
It's a
JFK.
Bruder
All right.
Films.
Take us
and
home, Tony.
children. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you liked the show, please go tell a friend. Rate and subscribe wherever you're listening to. Send us an email. We'll talk about stuff. Join us live on Twitch whenever we record. You can hang out and chat.
Apparently, this is a thing now.
It is. You can send us an email at podcastxyz@gmail.com. You can visit us on Instagram and YouTube. Go check out our merch store, but more importantly, go check out our home on the web. We've got Winston's Watch and Listen list where we put links to things that we've talked about, just a list of things that we've talked about. If you like the show and go, when did they talk about that thing?
When did they talk about
That thing?
Fully clothed babies? What was
Super
it?
Bowl Shuffle and stuff. What episode was that? You can go search that on the site. That's podcastxyz.podbean.com. And with that, we will see everybody next time.
See you later.
Everybody start talking.
Kid smells funky. They want to not.
Hello.
Good for you.
Hello.
Half.
Cool whip.
Health.
Weight maxing.
What a cheapskate.
Smell maxing.
Still?
Yeah, man.
Everything was screwed up.
It's Cool Whip.
As a man,
You were smarter than the computer.
Voice your ideas now.
that's actually hilarious.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2.